Hey guys, welcome to Toys on Tap. This week, on top of the episodes that I'm releasing, I also wanted to do a toy history video that coincides with the release of Steamboat Willie into the public domain this month. One of the cool things is we have so much to talk about toy history, resin, and all that stuff, but there was so much that happened in the release of Mickey and art shows and different toys that were made, and I can't wait to talk about it. But before we do that, I want to tell you that this episode is sponsored by Empire Blisters. Boom, you can see it right there. If you are a creative and you're making action figures or toys or anything like that, and you need blisters or you need replacement blisters from your Star Wars collection, this is the place to go. I have a code, I have all the information in the bio. So go down there after the episode, click on it, and do what you got to do. What's cool about this month as it releases is Disney has been fighting against Mickey entering the public domain for a very long time. Finally, the fight is over. We have Steamboat Willie as one of the iterations of Mickey that entered the public domain, and it's an amazing thing. And I got to be in an art show that kind of surrounded that. You can see it right here. It was thrown by Yo-Yo who's a creative artist, a toy artist, and it was hosted at a toy shop in Kentucky called Earth to Kentucky, one of my favorite shops of all time. Sadly, I haven't made the trip out there, but I've been in the shows that they've hosted, and it's just such a rad place. One of the cool things about this is my piece sold, which was amazing. It was called Disney on Ice. It looks like this right here. And you can see that it kind of has a play on like the cryogenic freezing of Walt. I put it on Mickey's head and I decided to make the name Disney on Ice to kind of play with that a little bit. But someone sent me a message about how that coincides or relates to the Walt Sickle piece. Of course, I have no idea what they were talking about, and we kind of sent messages back and forth, and it was amazing what I found and what he showed me, and I can't thank him enough. It was awesome. The piece that I get to show is one of my favorite pieces that kind of disrupts a little bit of toy history, but not too crazily. So the piece is the Walt Sickle, and it comes in a box like this. The Walt Sickle is an amazing piece. It has three iterations. Boom, right there. Three iterations that happened in 1989, 91, and 96. Three different colorways, and it's an amazing piece in short run, right? The first run comes out with a black tie on, and it comes out in only a run of 100. The second one is in 1991 with a red tie, only a run of 100. And the third one, the one that I have that I get to show you, is a green tie, 1996, a run of 1,000. I have sadly not seen anything but a picture of the red tie and seen nothing of the black tie because it seems like it just doesn't exist. What's cool about this, and here's the piece right here, it's amazing. Walt is stuck in this piece of ice or this thing that look like an ice cube. It's super well done, has all the ridges of an ice cube. It's super good. You have that it is called Walt Sickle, has the date right there. I know it's hard to see, 1996. It's so good. The Walt Sickle Project, boom, super good. This piece is 5 inches tall, it's 2 inches wide, it's really dense, and 1.5 inches in height. Like super thick, covered in resin, whole resin piece. It's amazing. The reason why this piece is so fun and cool for me at least is because we have a little bit of toy history in the resin scene that all centers around one guy. This guy's name is Sucklord. Sucklord comes on the scene in like 2003, 2004. In 2003, he's a part of an art show or a gallery exhibition where he makes so many resin pieces in partnership with another artist. But the one where he actually starts to make what we would call a resin action figure or some kind of release like that is a piece called Sucklord 66, and it happens in February of 2004. This is kind of the start of what we would like to call the resin toy scene. We have so much centered around what he did because as this brilliant man, this conceptual artist, this kind of a genius in what he was doing something that hadn't been done really before. He started a movement, started an indie toy scene that is growing, and there's artists all over the world, and really has given Toys on Tap a place to interview all these different people. What's cool about this is that he started an art form Now, how this relates to the frozen Walt Sickle is that Walt Sickle kind of predates this first Sucklord piece by 15 years. Not that that changes the importance of what Sucklord did or who he is, but it's just that people were doing something that we didn't know might have existed in this capacity. It's a conceptual piece, just like what the Sucklord does. It's a piece that kind of captivates, it sends a message, it does something. And it was created by artists that were phenomenal, that were brilliant. This piece right here was created by Steven Hillenburg, and you might know him as the voice of SpongeBob, and he's just killing it. And he partnered with a guy named Butt Payne 3. I don't know what the three's on there for. It could be the third, but it's an actual three, so who knows? Um, Sadly, Steven Hillenburg passed away in 2018, but they created this piece to kind of fund their education through Cal Arts. All three of them ended up selling out, and it was just on a whim that I was able to be told about this, and on another whim that I was able to find one reasonably priced so I could buy it and get my hands on this grail of a piece. What this does is instead of changing the toy scene, it kind of builds out more depth to what this toy scene is and gives more validity that artists that didn't start in toys made toys to help them get by as they went on to other great things. And so it's an amazing piece of toy history that we have that I now get for my shelf. And I was stoked to share it with you guys. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Toy Content with Toys on Tap.